All right, Mr. Mayor, you are live and ready to go.
That might be a first.
Well,
Smoke Andy.
that's right. It was probably legal years ago.
Hopefully, yeah.
All right,
These
Mr.
are the parts of Zoom, you know? You can have your Xanax, you can have your head with you. I just had to shoot a cat off of the laptop.
All right, Mr. Mayor, you're ready to go.
Oh, I knew it. You ready, Tom?
Yes, you're ready to go.
Okay. I'm calling meeting to order, and we're holding this meeting electronically so as to conduct necessary city business as statutorily required or necessary during this COVID-19 pandemic crisis. We are eligible to hold this meeting because I have verified that the governor has declared a statewide emergency under section 44-146.17 of the Code of Virginia. The catastrophic nature of the emergency makes it impractical or unsafe, it makes it impractical or unsafe to assemble in a single location and meet as necessary or statutorily required in order to carry out the city's responsibility. I would now do a motion to find that the nature of this emergency and the increased spread of coronavirus in the city of Covington makes it impractical, unsafe, or unsafe for us to assemble in a single location. Carry out.
We need a roll call vote for that, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Ensminger,
4.
Mr. Hunter,
4.
Mr. Tucker,
4.
Vice Mayor Crozier,
4.
Mayor Savold.
4. So the purpose of the meeting tonight, the reason we're having it is we have 3 ordinances that we need to vote on tonight, and that's the reason for the called meeting. The first is to consider draft ordinance 2013 regarding amending and reenacting certain sections of Appendix A subdivisions of the Code of the City of Covington. All of you should have gotten a copy of that in your packet. Do you have any questions or concerns?
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Well, actually, before you all do that, I think it's appropriate, since this is a subdivision ordinance as well as the next one, your zoning ordinance, that you direct this to the Planning Commission for review and recommendation to you.
Okay.
So that they have the ability to read through it too and make determinations as to whether or not it's appropriate for the city of Covington. So
the motion needs to be to pass it on to the Planning Commission.
yes, sir.
Okay, I'll redo my motion to I move that we refer this to the Planning Commission.
Second.
Any other questions or discussion? Could we have a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Ensminger,
4.
Mr. Hunter,
4.
Mr. Tucker,
4.
Vice Mayor Crozier,
4.
Mayor Savold.
4. The second is a draft ordinance 2014 regarding amending and reenacting certain sections of Appendix B zoning of the Code of City of Covington and to repeal Chapter 36 signs.
Yes, sir. Just this was the heavy lifting. The zoning ordinance needed some significant updates relative to references to the Virginia State Code, as well as some significant revisions related to your floodplain overlay district. The state had revised their proposed model ordinance provisions, and so therefore yours had to be updated. That's where you get a majority of the changes that are noted herein. The other big change to the zoning ordinance is we have taken your sign chapter of the ordinances and incorporated all of that into the zoning ordinance, as it's more appropriate to be as part of the zoning ordinance. But obviously, if you've got any questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
Do any of you have any questions?
I don't have any questions. I'll move that this also be referred to the Planning Commission for further study.
Second.
Anything, any questions or concerns? We're cleaning stuff up, aren't we, Mark?
Yes, sir. That's the whole point of this exercise, is to get things date where they need to be.
Okay. If there's no questions or concerns, could we have a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Ensminger,
4.
Mr. Hunter,
4.
Mr. Tucker,
4.
Vice Mayor Crozier,
4.
Mayor Seibold.
4. Now, the next one, the 2015, that doesn't go to the planning commission. We approve that tonight?
Well, you'll have to have a public hearing.
Oh, okay.
So you can't just do it right now, but you can have a public hearing on it. Obviously, you'll have to wait because you have to do the appropriate public notices and all that kind of stuff. So it'll have to hold off until next month. But for purposes of at least getting the process started, Crystal and I wanted to try and get this in front of you for discussion. So, Crystal, I think you had some things you wanted to say about this.
Absolutely. As you all know, we are regularly challenged with how we can more effectively enforce property maintenance, building code standards, other such things. And then the other factor compounding that is sort of the arduous process that we go through with the courts. What this does is make stuff very clearly defined as far as what we're constituting as blight, how we're addressing it. And I think this will really help to complement the Keep Covington Beautiful campaign that we have just kicked off. Initially, we started with putting PSAs out about grass. Now we're focusing on picking up after your pet. But this will cover things that are related to basic property upkeep of, maintaining the grass, maintaining the sidewalk in front of your home, what actually constitutes a structure that's at risk and needs to be addressed, those kinds of things. And it will make it easier for staff to do their job with having something with just a little more teeth to it, where they can just concretely say, like, nope, this is what it is. Make sense?
Yes.
I think it's important also for you all to recognize, though, that, obviously to use this legislative vehicle to deal with blighted properties will necessarily require some city funds to make it happen. So obviously we'll have to do it as sparingly because of budgetary constraints, but obviously it's definitely another tool in the shed that you can use to hopefully try and get the city looking a lot better.
Anybody got any questions, comments?
I just have one question. These things we referred to the planning commission, are we going to have to come back and vote on these again?
The ones that were referred to planning, yes, those, because again, you'll have to have official public hearings as required by the statute. So like I said, all of this is just being presented to you for kind of your initial consideration. Before anything else can happen, we have to do appropriate public notices and have, well, the first two are going to the planning commission for their consideration and then recommendation. And then it'll come to you for a public hearing and then your adoption if you so choose. This last one on the blight properties, we'll have to hold off on because this is the first time we've shown it to you. And we have not done a public hearing on it. So it'll have to wait until probably next month because you have to run the notice in the paper for 2 consecutive weeks and all that fun stuff. So we just wanted to get it in front of you. And then if you're okay with moving forward with it, we will do what is necessary to get it on the next appropriate agenda.
Okay. So there's no action required on this. Do any of y'all have any questions, other questions?
I don't.
I'm good.
If it's just kind of a consensus from council, if you want
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
if you
say.
want to move forward with it, then we'll go ahead and make the necessary public notices and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
I would think everybody's willing to move forward.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good.
I'm good.
May I ask a question just now, as you know, probably in another 4 weeks or less, we'll be heading into budget prep. If we move forward with adopting this ordinance, is this something that we want to start to try to make more a budgetary priority?
Well, he wasn't doing what
Given
he started with. It's just that they fell on his head.
the
Oh,
need
good heart.
for it, or
That's totally up
I guess
to
it's a
them.
discussion we can have at some prep time, but I guess I would like to know from you all going forward in our one-off discussions or anything like that, or a closed session, just how this would rank as far as a budgetary priority. You know, I know one of our top priorities is economic development, another priority is infrastructure, but just knowing where this falls, so it helps me make sure we allocate
Yeah, I don't know.
an initial first grab of funds will agree with how it's ranked as far as a priority, because this is going to be
One's in California, one's in New York.
I'm getting a lot of background noise from somewhere.
Me
I know.
too.
On team herself, so I don't.
Does someone have a TV on or something in the background? I heard a radio at times, and then now I'm hearing a TV. The challenges of our first Zoom.
Uh,
But just if you all could take some time and think about where this falls in your like buckets of priorities, that would be helpful for myself and staff as we work on formulating the budget, which will probably start mid to late December this year. We'll start early. That's my only ask.
Okay.
Sorry to draw that out.
Do we have anything else we need to talk about during this called meeting?
Not from me, sir.
No.
Crystal, anything?
No.
All right, then I move we close the called meeting, and then come back at 6:30.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So
Thomas,
I think
you
what
just
will
mute
happen
us.
now is Thomas is just gonna mute everyone's mic. So if you want to just end your video, you can, not end your video, but stop the video down in the bottom left corner. You can do that. And then Thomas will have us all muted till 6:30. So we're not actually going to be leaving the meeting, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I knew you were a pro, Mr. Crozier.
That's right.